Maple TA Exam Review Unit 3, question number 4. The following data was collected by Australian researchers and published in the Australian Journal of Zoology. The data shows the nasal width and length of a specific species of male gray kangaroo. Here we have our data points, a trend line, and an equation. We see that the input is nasal length in millimeters and the output is nasal width in millimeters. Researchers use this data to determine if a particular kangaroo skull belonged to this species of kangaroo. They found that the kangaroo skulls from other species did not follow the same data trend. If a kangaroo skull has had a nasal length of 630 millimeters and a nasal width of 235 millimeters, does it appear that this skull is from the specific species of male gray kangaroo? So what I've done is I have this trend line equation in Excel. I'm going to go ahead and just because I'm going to find what we get if we input that in our trend line. So we're going to multiply, our input is 630 and we get 227. So that's the predicted one, and this isn't that far off from it a little bit, and we can see that there's some spread in this species. Let's see where it goes. So this particular kangaroo skull, if we come over to 630, and it said that it had a nasal width of 235. We'll come up here, somewhere in here. You can see that the prediction is a little lower. It would be somewhere around here. But we can see that the spread of our data points is not that bad. So somewhere around here. And so it does seem to fall within all of these points and these data points. So let's go see what our options are. No, if you use 235 as the input, oops, we don't want to put that as the input. That's actually the output over here. So I'm going to stop right there, although we could go further. If we had used 235 millimeters as the input, it actually doesn't go that low, so we can't even go see what it would be in our predictions. So I'm going to skip that one entirely. The next one says, yes, by looking at the graph, we can see if a skull has a nasal length of 630 millimeters, the nasal width varies between about 200 and 250. Yeah, so about 200 to 250. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Since 235 millimeters is within, I think that should say is within this range, the skull is probably from this species. I'm going to say yes. That's what I've concluded so far, but we will keep going. The next one, no, a quadratic trend line would have been better for this data. Actually, this is looking really great, very linear from my perspective, so I'm not going to pick that one, even though, yeah, so I like the linear. The next, no, if you use the linear equation to predict the nasal width of the male gray kangaroo with a nasal length of 630, you get 227.6, which we did. Since this skull is 235 millimeters, it is probably not in the same species. We can see that there's quite a range here. It doesn't have to be exact because this is just the trend line. And we see this spread here. They aren't going to all be the exact 227, just like humans aren't going to be exact. And the next one, yes, if you use 630 millimeters as the input of the trend line, you get a nasal width of 234. We actually didn't get that. We got 227. This shows the skull is probably from the same species. So I'm not going to use that one either because it didn't give me 234. It actually gave me 227. But it falls within the range. So this is my selected answer.